Great. Okay. So my name is Michael Owens, and myself and my colleague Nicola Walsh were service delivery executives with the Citizens Information Board. So we've been quite busy over the last 3 months, but we're very happy to be here today to give you a presentation, to give you an overview of the work that's been going on, and trying to, on the one hand, sustain our customer service, but on the other hand, to also enhance them and to make them as accessible as possible for customers in this new normal that we live in. So just to give you an introduction, the Citizens Information Board is the statutory body which supports the provision of information, advice, and advocacy on a broad range of public and social services. We provide the Citizens Information website, citizensinformation.ie, and support the network of Citizens Information Centres and the Citizens Information phone service. We also fund and support the Money Advice and Budgeting Service, the National Advocacy Service, and the Sign Language Interpreting Service. Today's presentation will focus on the reconfiguration of the Citizens Information and Advice Services during the COVID-19 pandemic. Pre-pandemic, CIB supported the delivery of the Citizens Information Services via the following channels: a website with comprehensive information on social media and public services in Ireland, a nationwide phone service operating Monday to Friday from 9 AM to 8 PM, and a network of public drop-in Citizens Information Centres providing free and confidential information, advice, and advocacy services. Following government announcements on the 12th of March, the network of Citizens Information Centres was required to close due to the inability to safely provide customer services on a public drop-in basis. For the first time in its history, the network was closed to the public indefinitely, with its 900-strong volunteer base unable to support their local communities, and its paid staff dispersed without the necessary resources to continue to provide an effective service. While the National Phone Service continued to operate from its call centre in Cork, the closure of school and childcare facilities, along with new requirements for social distancing within the workplace, resulted in the service operating at a significantly reduced capacity. All CIB national offices were closed, meaning that the website team would now have to operate remotely for the first time ever. In the first 3 weeks of the emergency period, only 2 of the website team could edit and update the site due to technical limitations, working out of hours and throughout the weekends to keep the website up to date. Externally, the rest of the country was in a similar state of disruption. Many citizens began to seek information and certainty about their rights, their incomes, their health care, and their safety during the pandemic. We therefore had to act quickly to re-establish an effective customer service. The new economic and social conditions gave rise to hundreds of thousands of citizens suffering losses of income and employment, while government departments worked quickly to implement new forms of income and employment sustainability supports. This posed several challenges for CIS: an unprecedented rise in demand for customer services, a rapidly changing information environment as new emergency schemes, regulations, and legislation came into effect, a reduction in staff capacity to perform customer service work, an inability to meet face-to-face with customers, requiring advocacy services, and an inability to reach the most vulnerable and marginalised customers who cannot use phone or email service.
CIB's Citizens Information Team began to work intensively with management of CIS and CIT to reconfigure operations to enable the continuity of customer service. Several projects were commenced to progress this work quickly. A survey of the network staff was taken to establish capacity to continue to work within closed offices with social distancing measures and remotely through the use of personal mobile phone and IT devices at home. This hybrid approach worked well in maximising the capacity of staff to continue to provide customer services while managing childcare and other family responsibilities at home. Staff with sufficient equipment and expertise were identified to begin to support the Citizens Information phone service remotely from home or within a CIC office. In some cases, major IT support was required to provide additional laptops, VPNs, and virtual desktops to enable staff to access internal operational networks for query tracking and activity recording. This enabled the service to begin to address customer service needs more effectively. From the bar chart, you'll see that call volumes dramatically increased in March, with over 25,000 calls received. This is reflective of a 79% increase on the same period last year. Through the reconfiguration of services and additional support provided throughout the network, the call answer rate increased to almost 98% in April. A centralised national email service was quickly established, with customer queries distributed across the national network to information officers working remotely. During peak times, the service was receiving approximately 300 email queries per day. By mid-April, a new national request a callback service was introduced, providing customers with an opportunity to complete a web form with their details in order to receive a follow-up call from an information officer, who would then provide further support with their query. Over 5,000 queries have been supported through this system. These new national services were integrated into a newly established query management system to track customer service delivery and query outcomes. The query management system is a secure web-based online system and was developed for managing the callback service offered through the Citizens Information website and later the centralised national email service, both of which have been developed for Citizens Information services for the duration of the COVID-19 pandemic. The system was built using Salesforce Lightning Experience, a cloud-based software that can easily be accessed remotely. Personal and query details submitted through the callback web form automatically transfer into the query management system with end-to-end encryption. A national query coordinator monitors and allocates customer queries, whether they're received via the web form or by email, to an available of Ireland, provided by the solution, and this provided query coordinators with a centralised view of available resources.
A new centralised national information discussion forum was developed for staff to receive regular updates and quickly disseminate new information as it became available from relevant government departments. This marked a significant shift from a traditionally local and regionally focused service delivery model to a more nationally oriented approach. The Moodle e-learning platform was used to create an information environment within which a complex customer query in one location could be raised nationally for feedback and support. It enabled staff as far-flung as Swords and Skibbereen to engage directly with each other on an information topic, share experience of customer queries, and identify gaps, anomalies, or social policy issues, which CIB could then raise directly with the relevant departments for escalation. Communication channels were developed with the Department of Employment Affairs and Social Protection and Revenue to enable us to refer complex or anomalous queries for clarification in real time, after which answers to those questions would be made available to the CIS network on the forums as soon as they were received. Over several weeks, the forum content grew and developed into a substantial body of new resources, operating as a live information environment with strong inputs from the national network and relevant referral channels. The project created a higher degree of interconnectivity between the customer, information provider, relevant government departments, and our website and social media teams. The Information Resources team, who managed the continual development and updating of the website, moved quickly to establish a suite of new COVID-19 pandemic resources across a broad range of subject areas such as social welfare, revenue, employment rights, employer supports, health services, and housing rights. In the first few days of the lockdown, viewing figures were exceptional. 435,000 page views were recorded in the days after pubs and many workplaces were asked to close. The team also developed a greater online presence across social media channels. This yielded a significant level of queries from the general public, outside of the traditional Citizens Information Service phone and email channels. Our PR team has been active in supporting CIS management to engage in increased levels of news and radio media promotion of the new service model during COVID-19. At the end of June, a limited number of Citizens Information Services will begin to reopen to the public on an appointment basis. Further centres will begin to open on a phased basis during the summer months. Many CIS staff will return to office-based working, while others will continue to work remotely. A Customer Service Delivery Committee is currently working on the development of new procedures to ensure safe and effective reopening of face-to-face customer services. CIS advocacy services will return to operation, with customers supported remotely to the greatest extent possible. With bodies such as the Workplace Relations Commission and Labour Court recommencing hearings via video conferencing, this poses new technological and operational challenges for CIS in continuing to provide this service. Traditionally, the most vulnerable and marginalised customers have accessed citizens' information via the public drop-in clinics. Such customers will often lack the language, literacy, technological or financial resources necessary to access CIS via phone and email. To ensure that CIS can continue to support such customers, planning is in place to establish new communication channels with relevant support organisations, including homeless services, disability organisations, refuges, and services for older people, to ensure that these customer needs are identified and addressed to the greatest extent possible.
So in conclusion, looking back to the traditional service model for citizens' information services, we can see how the rapid introduction of several key technological, communication and network approaches have enabled us to enhance customer services to meet the new and emerging public need. As we face into a period of extended uncertainty, the new framework for customer service delivery will enable us to remain agile and reflexive to changes and shifts in the level of type of customer service needs for the duration of the pandemic. While the work of CIS has been largely focused on the immediate present, our MAS and Awalia teams have also been looking to the future and planning for the anticipated rise in demand for money advice services, guidance through dealing with problem debt and mortgage arrears, with an extra burst of awareness activity planned at the end of June to align with the end of the 3-month mortgage payment break. CIS will continue to operate a hybrid of these customer service models, combining the old with the new. This approach will allow services to operate with the ebbs and flows of pandemic restrictions as they increase and lift over time, in a manner in keeping with CIB's strategic aims for quality, consistency and sustainability for service delivery. Despite the difficulties faced, the COVID-19 pandemic has given rise to many opportunities to modernise and enhance customer services over the past 3 months, and we anticipate maintaining many of the efficiencies created. I'll hand back to you, Declan. Thanks.